No, neither am I. I believe this is it. And this is my take, because, when I was in prison, it wasn't for that long, but I remember I said to myself, and this is what a buddy of mine told me. He said, this is my house, and this is where I have to live for a little while. Let's focus on today. Don't worry about going home. Don't worry about drinking. And, I didn't drink in prison. I didn't do drugs. I just wasn't about to share a needle.
Mm-hmm.
That was not happening. But, yeah, I said, this is my house. This is what I got to do. I got to do this for, the next couple of, months, years, whatever, and that's it. You carry yourself a certain way. You don't get disrespected. One time the guy said in the lockup, he goes, do not disrespect anyone and do not allow yourself to be disrespected. Those are the two things you just really got to do, and just kind of mind your own business. I didn't get involved in the prison gang stuff. I just, did my time and got out. My point was you learn to adapt. Texas death row would be the most miserable thing. And I'm not saying California death row is a walk in the park, but, man, as far as death rows goes, it's pretty nice.
Have you been to Texas death row?
Yes, I have. It's horrible.
I figured.
You'd rather be in the hole in California death row than on the quote-unquote highest, incentive level in Texas. In Texas, there's no group recreation, no television. You never have a contact visit. You never have a phone call. You can't have a CD player. Can't have a tape player. You can only have so many books. You get an AM, FM radio. Let me tell you what those cells weren't designed for. Radio reception. You never shake anybody's hand. The food, if you get in trouble, they give you that food loaf. They blend everything together. The food looks inedible. Not that I've ever seen a picture from a cell phone of an inmate's meal in Texas, because that's against the law. But I can imagine to describe them in letters. Their food is awful. Their cell walls are bare. They can't hang anything. They move every 6 months. So 1 month you could be, 6 months you could be next to your buddy. The next month you're with nobody. The next 6 months you're with nobody you know. You could be next to a guy who screams all day, a guy that doesn't shower. And and next to the cell directly next to you, you share like a breezeway. So if you're next to a guy who doesn't shower or shits in his cell and just wipes it everywhere, you have to smell that all day. Not to mention the cops are beating people up. They treat inmates. If you get on their radar there, they just basically take you out of your cell and they beat you. They put cameras in now to help prevent that, but they were just beating inmates left and right. And they're trying to kill you all day. It's awful. I couldn't even imagine going. I wouldn't even go into the state of Texas now after the way they treated me the last time I was there. Never again. The place is a dump. The only reason I went there was to visit their inmates.
Where in Texas was it?
East Texas, Klan country. The Klan's there. Where I was Livingston, Texas is an hour from Jasper, where the drag death happened. And anybody can try to tell you that there's not racism in Jasper. They've never been to Jasper, because that is one of the most racist places I've ever been in my whole life. And that place is racist, man. I've gone there with friends, and they're like, you couldn't pay me to live here. My wife said she wanted to leave. She goes, I don't want to be here, because it's just awful. And I'm sure there might be some country folks listening and be like, oh, he's not talking about our state like that, is he, Bubba? He sure is, Gus. Yeah, that's what somebody's saying over there. Texas is such an awful place. Don't mess with it. Just don't go there. Sorry if y'all was in Texas, too. I should have asked maybe.
Believe it or not, I lived in Texas for 1 year of my whole life. I was 15. I lived in Texas, in Plano, Texas, just north of Dallas. And people always think of Texas as like largely Hispanic, but it was not. It was mainly like Asian and Indian, and I don't mean like Native American. I mean Indian, and like every type of nationality there is, I assume, because of the computer. It was kind of a richy part of Texas, to be fair, but no, it's just interesting. By the way, let's backtrack. I wanted to ask you about something. I thought you were doing it tonight, but apparently you're doing it tomorrow, because it intrigues me, and I got to bring it up. You're officiating a wedding. You have to tell the story, talk about it. I know this isn't your first one, right?
No. The first time I got asked to do a wedding was back in, I think it was 2007. A lesbian couple. They whenever they passed the law to allow gays to marry, this lesbian couple said, "Hey, William, we want to do a wedding, but we want a satanic ceremony." And I'm like, well, yeah, I guess, and I'm ordained. I drafted up, nice little silly, kind of silly, it wasn't it wasn't silly. I mean, it meant something to them. They told me exactly what they wanted, and I threw in a little Hail Satan and whatnot, and they were tickled to death. Told all their friends. I see them on Facebook, and they're like, yeah, he married us, our satanic wedding, and I had a nephew who asked me to marry him to his girlfriend, and now my sister-in-law, she's asked me to marry her to her longtime lover and partner, and they've been together for so long, and they just asked me to do it, and get all done up, and it's and this is the thing: the two couples I've married, still married. 40% of all first marriages end in divorce, and I told my sister-in-law, I said, listen, I'm 2 for 2. Don't fuck up the street.
Hey, mine did. I'm with you. Mine ended in divorce.
No, that's too bad, man. Mine's been going okay. Been with my wife 15 years, June 3rd.
Well, I'm in the second one now, so the second one's good. We're good there. But I have to ask, and maybe you said it, and I was too drunk to catch it. Don't give me shit, because I swear to God, this is what I saw or what I heard. It's the Church of Satan, correct? Or am I crazy?
No. I mean, I'm a satanic minister, but
okay.
I'm not affiliated with the Church of Satan. There's a long story as to why not. Back when Anton LaVey was, the high priest, there was a loose association. I knew people that were the quote-unquote the brass. They worked with LaVey. They were people doing things in the Church of Satan. But once LaVey died, a lot of those contacts kind of drifted away, and I started kind of doing my own thing. Or it's just a little bit of a falling out with some of those guys, and that's fine. Good luck to you. I'm going to do my thing, and I do get asked to do weddings. And the thing is, like my sister-in-law, she said, it's nothing really satanic because they're not Satanists, which is fine. I'm not expecting anybody to. I don't make it. It's whatever they want me to do. I mean, I can do whatever they want. If they want me to say, in the name of Jesus Christ, God Almighty, I seal you to I can do whatever they want because there's no limitations to what I can do. So I just try to make it, happy for the individual. And, I've done satanic services for people, and I was a satanic spiritual advisor for the state of Texas. I actually would go into death row as a minister. I was their only satanic minister, and because of my credentials, I was able to actually get be able to do minister-type visits, so I didn't have to be on an inmate's visitor list. I could just pick an inmate and go in and see him that day. Because Texas also, you can only have 10 visitors at a time, and you can only change your list every 6 months. So it's very difficult. You only have 10 slots. So if you're a minister, you can visit without being in one of those 10 slots. You can also witness an execution and not take one of the 5 witness slots. So it did, and I did act in that capacity, but I told them I'm not here to save your soul because I don't believe in a thing called the soul. I'm here to, what do you want to talk about? You want to talk about drinking beer? You want to talk about girls? You want to contemplate mortality? I'm here to talk about whatever you want to talk about.
So can you talk about what's different about being a satanic minister? I don't know how much you know about
I'm not theistic.
Christian,
I'm not
quote
theistic.
unquote.
It's Christianity or any faith-based religion is just that. It's theistic. Christians believe in God, the devil. They believe Jonah lived in a big fish underwater for 3 days. They believe Balaam had an argument with a donkey. They believe a snake tempted Eve in the Garden of Eden, and that's why we're all dying. I mean, that's what they believe. Yep. I mean, they believe this stuff. They believe the Earth is 6,000 years old. The dinosaurs walked with people. I mean, just the most asinine things. It's also
crazy
based
shit
on denial of flesh. For me, as an atheistic or a LaVeyan or true Satanist, I celebrate the flesh. I know nobody lived in a fish for 3 days. I know when I die, I'm not going to go to an intangible prison where I burn and am punished. I'm going to live and I'm going to die, and nothing I do will change that outcome. Nothing. I will cease to exist. My memory will live on in my family and friends, and perhaps some of the people I've touched, along the way, through, being remembered through, interviews, articles, things of that nature. But yeah, once I'm once I'm gone, I'm going to be gone. And the main difference with a satanic minister or somebody who believes in the tenets or, adheres to them, because it's not really a belief. I can't choose not to believe in the tenets of Satanism because it's just common sense. I can't choose to believe that a guy came down, and a God came down in the form of a man to be tortured to save me. I mean, that's the silliest thing, you're going to rule the blacks when they win the race war. You can't tell me that. I just know it's not true. So for me, I like money. I like chicks. I like traveling. I like good times. I like tattoos. I used to love drinking and drugs and all that good stuff. So, I live for the flesh and for the moment because tomorrow's not promised, and I only have so many years to be on this earth, and believe me, I'm going to enjoy them because I'll be dead one day and I'll have all the time to be mellow and, kick back then.
That's a hell of a point, too. And at the end of the day, whatever your belief is, it's whatever you chose to believe. And some people are indoctrinated into it. Other people just choose their route. I'm agnostic. I don't know what the fuck to believe. It's the truth of the matter. I don't know what the fuck to believe, so I don't really believe much of anything. I don't believe there isn't, and I don't believe there is. I'm just there. I feel like my role in life was not to worry about it.
Well, that's the thing. Like I tell people, just because I say there's not a Satan doesn't mean I'm not serving him. I go, but I know in my heart that there's no such thing. And the thing is, when people say like I chose not to, you're choosing not to believe in God. I'm like, I can't choose to believe somebody lived in a fish underwater for 3 days. Nothing you say to me can make me choose to believe that. I used to tell people, go, if I told you that I could fly, could you choose to believe me? If you showed me, I said, what if I just told you I could? And you said you had to take it on faith. Believing that I could fly makes more sense than a donkey talking or a snake talking. It makes more sense than that because maybe I could do some mind over matter thing with my brain and levitate. But outside, when you start getting into hocus pocus, miracles and the dead raising and then denying yourself. The Bible says homosexuality is an abomination. Masturbating is a grievous sin. Better to have sex with a whore than spill your seed on the ground. Man, I'm in trouble. I've done a whole lot of both. And those are completely natural, normal things. The God of the Christian Bible wanted animals sacrificed for him. He sacrificed his only son. He killed all the children of the earth with the rains, and he ordered so many tribes to be slaughtered in the Old Testament, including suckling infants. I don't want to follow if I had to pick a God, it wouldn't be one that said kill babies or killed his own son. That's just say this stuff. I tell people, say it out loud to yourself. And they say, our finite mind can't comprehend. I said, no, yours can't maybe, but I can tell you right now, that was bullshit. It's seeping out the sides of that book, man. Yeah, it was written 2,000 years ago. Google that. Don't go to Christian, truth.com. Go to realtruth.com and look at historical history. Dinosaurs didn't walk with people, folks. And I'm sorry if you're listening to this and you think the Earth might have been flat and that it's 6,000 years old and the sun revolved around the Earth and everything else the church taught us. That's crazy talk.
Yeah, that's why ultimately I had to give that up. I just, I'm sorry. I'm just not that naive and not that stupid. Sorry. Neither
Bittaker and Norris has fallen into that. Norris believes there is an afterlife. He believes in a sort of a thing called the spirit, I guess, and the soul. But he doesn't. He's not Christian as far as I'm concerned. Larry has never really expressed any sort of concrete belief. I would say that he's more so of the atheist type. And while Norris does have, again, a spiritual side to him, I wouldn't say it's based largely on Judeo-Christianity. Not from the things he's told me.
I like to think there is some sort of an afterlife. But again, what did I just say? I like to think it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I like getting my dick sucked, but it doesn't mean I'm going to get it.
Exactly. Who knows? I don't fucking know. Like I've always told Vic, there might be a God. He might be a goat. I don't fucking know. I'm not worried about it. It's not. At the end of the day, that's not what I worry about. So, dude, William,
right?
you came in and you kicked fucking ass, dude. I love this show. It was amazing.
Well, dude, I had a lot of fun, man. This was a lot of fun, and I was actually talking with some friends of mine. I'm like, man, I saw the show. It was a 2-hour show. They're going to have me on this show for 2 fucking hours.